morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning, not Sunday morning, and I do apologize. I'm reading for the week of the 18th, and I'm sorry that this is a little late, but I'm having my morning tea, and I thought I would do your reading now. I had to take a medication, and it made me a little, I'm not used to taking any meds, and it made me really spacey, and I didn't want to give you guys a half-assed card reading. So I wanted to wait. So I feel like myself again. And here I am with the beautiful, soft, lovely Aquarian Tarot and the Rose Oracle. So for this week, in between two eclipses, the next one is a lunar eclipse in Pisces happening on the 28th, so 10 days away. And I thought we could all use some soft energy. So hence the cards I chose. So just give me a minute and I'm going to focus on my cards. Draw. I'll do a Celtic tree spread. And I wanted to say first too, before I forget, I'm having a sale in my shop, and that does include my card readings. It's an aromatic sale, and I have several of them each year for my clients, just to make sure, folks can afford things. I do a discount a few times a year. So right now I'm doing 15% off, but that also includes card readings. So you can go to the shop. You'll see my blog with the coupon code, and I'll also include that link below. And my sale ends tonight at midnight. So I did want to mention that. And I have some other shorter card pulls for you guys I'm working on this week. And so I'm looking forward to that as well. And with all that said, I'm going to pull your Celtic tree spread. The Fool. So this is a new beginning. This is taking a leap of faith. This is setting off while not yet knowing your complete destination or all the details of how you'll get there. And I do like this card a lot. And um, looking at it with the benefit of age, I will say many of the plans that I've made for myself, um, you know, kind of went to the wayside, and I ended up taking different paths and things that I didn't plan, but that turned out absolutely beautifully. And that is the energy of the Fool. So it requires faith and a bit of courage. Um, Usually he's got a very faithful, loyal little dog by his ankles, and they're not looking down, they're looking ahead. And so I think that is the advice for us with the Fool. It also, if you can see the number, it's 0. So it's a very fresh, new start to something. We can have ideas. We can have, ideas of how we want to feel or how we want this to look, but it is not yet formed. And the idea is maybe to let it breathe and not try to control it too much. Okay, so that's the first card for this week ahead. Okay, the Three of Rods. So this is new energy coming to us, new inspirations, new ideas, maybe leaving something behind and pursuing something else that feels better, that lights our passions up now, letting go of expired passions or ideas. You see how the one wand is behind him there, and he too is looking ahead. He's not looking behind. And so that very much seems to be the energy that is asked of us right now. So, and 3 has a dynamism that the odd numbers have. So it's it just has a certain tension to it and beauty and change energy, but not as much as the 5s. Okay, so again, this is really speaking to us very clearly. The Tower Not anyone's favorite card to get, but sometimes outdated structures will fall. And that's, you know, it's a way of starting off as the fool. Sometimes perhaps we wouldn't start as the fool on a new adventure if we're too stuck in something old, even when the old thing isn't good for us. So the tower is change energy. It can be connected with, you see the lightning and the thunderstorms at the top, surprise energy, a clearing we didn't see coming. Um, it has that energy to it. And in some decks, you can see a man and a woman falling from the windows, falling out of the tower. The tower doesn't suit them anymore, and they're being asked to change it up. So change energy. We all have been feeling this for a while now, and I think we're all aware of it in the collective as well as in our personal lives. And it isn't necessarily a bad thing. So I think these cards are very beautiful and very specific. So looking ahead and being brave and not trying to control things, but just being, using your courage and looking forward. So I'm going to pick another few cards for the third position, which is the destiny, the lesson, the learning. Since we got the tower, and let's see what else we want to get for this. Okay, so we've got one of my favorite cards, the Four of Wands. So this always reminds me of my sweetheart, and like this is sometimes like wedding energy or love energy. You can see the little home in the background with these beautiful flowers. And it's just very harmonious. It's stability, and it's more personal. Like this is personal. This is like the home. So creating our own comforts, creating our stability, inner and outer within the change, just to stay centered, knowing what is of value as we are making changes and leaving stuff behind, like what feels like this, what is worth holding on to. So anchoring yourself as you do go through the change. So, you know, use your feelings. This is the wands. This is like passions and inspirations. And I mean, I think you'll know. I think we all know like what these things represent in this card for us personally. So, what are we taking with us? What are we building on? Okay. And then some things we may not be, we may feel left out or excluded, or there's something we want that we don't see. There may be a sense of impoverishment or difficulty, exclusion that is hurting us. But actually, this church right here, this church in the sky, I always love this depiction because the clouds around this whole window, they could go right in and they would be welcomed and cared for, sheltered. So again, with all these cards about looking and the one about feeling, the Four of Rods, like feeling, how does a happy home feel? How does a happy life, like let that anchor you? But a lot of this is about perspective. And here, what are we missing? So a good question to ask yourself, what are we missing? What do we want? And what is changing? Okay, I'm going to pick one more. Okay. And we've got the Queen of Swords. So the higher expression of the air element, swords. And she is very wise. I would say, as I always recommend to everyone, take out your trusty notebook, do some writing. What are your thoughts about all this? Look how in control she is. And not that we're supposed to control everything, but her wisdom is useful here. So, yeah, so she's a good ally, I would say. And she will help you figure out all of these cards here that we have. Your perspective. What are you leaving? What would you like to take and recreate and build on when you're building something new? Um, she's going to be good for some decision making and some, directing. And she looks very, if you look at her, what a wonderful court card to leave such things to. Look how capable she is. And she's got her red crown and her Venusian energy. And, she's got her sword there. She'll use it if she needs to. She probably won't need to because she's so in control of things. But in a feminine way, has a feminine aspect. So she's not going to be like, she's just going to be like very wise about things and very discerning. She's a card of discernment. Okay. So interesting. We have a lot of inward work to do, it looks like. And yeah, we got the death card too. Change is afoot. And you know, I mean we are in between two eclipses. So eclipses typically do mark change, new beginnings, old beginnings. I love the colors of the death card. And I always find his face really scary, but the colors are kind of irresistibly beautiful too. And so again, what feels old and stale and has to go? You know, even if you're cleaning out your fridge, these are questions you ask. You have to make room for good, fresh, beautiful food and just change it up, clean it up, and then maybe go from different rooms into your house, you know, and look at some dynamics in your life. And you can start from larger to or smaller to larger, and it'll make it more palatable, and less scary. But yeah, there's definitely change energy. And so these are some resources that will help you as you are recreating or rebuilding. And I know not everyone is so comfortable with this. My sweetheart is a double fixed sign. He's not so into change. Whereas I have a lot of mutable energy and I've done a lot of changing and growing and transforming into different skins in my life. And so for me, I kind of know what to do, how to do it. I have a comfort level that um, I know not everyone has, and I don't mean to make light of it if you're going through something that's a little frightening. But if you break it down into these few cards and their wisdom, I think it might make it easier for you. So the death and the tower aren't really things that are very controllable. They're sometimes out of our control, but we can be discerning, be wise, just be clear, write things down. We can remember we're not alone. And if we're feeling alone, which often happens when you go through some kind of death, whether it's the loss of a person, which that's not what these cards are necessarily talking about, but mourning, grief can be very lonely and isolating. So if you are feeling alone, it is a good time to reach out. And I think we had that in our card reading last week too. So don't let yourself feel impoverished socially or otherwise. And rethink the five of coins and what it would mean. And so don't feel excluded. If you do, that's your key to look for the window. Look for this. Look in a different way. Look forward. And then drawing on this energy, what this means to you, and bringing that with you. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the recent past and the distant past a little bit. And these cards will inform what we're doing now. So sometimes I get impatient with the fourth and the fifth position, but I understand their purpose in the Celtic tree spread. So yeah, we got someone who was worried and maybe feeling these changes before they happened, waking up in the middle of the night feeling like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. I don't know. And this is very opposite energy than the Queen of Swords, who's very like discerning and calm and at peace. And this person has let their worries get on top of them. It's kind of about, I think, wielding your thoughts differently and finding your center versus that mental noise that like we have that wakes us up or prevents us from sleeping or having peace. She's discerning and she's powerful because she has found at least centeredness, if not actual peace. And that's what makes her effective and so powerful. And so we've got to move from this to this. And I'm not saying that's easy either, but this is where the effectiveness is if we're going to do the thinking thing so intensely. Okay, and then The soul knows, the soul knew something. The soul was already working on something new, knowing something was, not working. The soul was already moving towards new solutions, the heart. Things were blooming in our consciousness and in our cup, in our heart. So we were already thinking, feeling this. And so the wisdom that is here, we can't forget. Okay. So now we're going to the sixth card, which is our future. Nice. We have the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a very nice card. This is an earth card, Pentacles. And this gentleman has tools and he's crafting something. And he too, he looks very serene and very effective. He knows what he's doing. He's got a structure behind him. We can assume that he created and he's working away and creating something new, maybe a new tower. So what a lovely grounding, powerful, potent energy for us to see after we have this old structure fallen apart. So what structures can we create now for ourselves, to hold this? Is he building this little home that we see here? Maybe. So what do we need to work on? What can we work on now as we are, you know, working on new things, new structures, new directions? What can we do? What can we turn our attention to? And again, look at he's thinking about what he's doing, right? All these people are very focused on what they need to do. And so, yeah, very interesting. Okay, so that's the future. And I love that it's an earth energy. So it's replacing the tower, like whatever fell in the tower. Okay, so now we're going to do ourselves in the physical world, 7 through 10. We'll see what we get. Okay. Again, it's about where are we looking? What are we focusing on? So there's a sense of loss. The heart maybe is sad or scared. And this person, kind of like the Five of Coins, is looking at what is spilled and not what is right here behind him. There's enough wine here for him and his sweetheart or his best friend, someone else. There is something here, but he isn't paying attention to it. So if we need to refocus, we're getting this message a few times. Let's redirect our attention, okay? And cups, so that's, feelings, fears, emotions, etc. Okay, so that's us in the world right now. Okay, now we're going to do the relationship section, the eighth card. And I was just talking to my friend Holly about how we find the Seven of Cups a little confusing, a little mystifying. I always see sevens, and I don't remember which teacher taught me this, but all the sevens have a creativity to them. There's like a glimmering on the surface kind of energy with sevens. And I think in this card, there is an urge for us to use our intuition and to make wise choices. So the Seven of Cups, it's like possibilities, like which thing will you choose? And again, that goes back to our Fool, who's kind of setting off, like, I don't know, I didn't know. Maybe I knew subconsciously, but I didn't consciously know this change was going to happen, and I don't know. And so this is like, just calm down and make an informed choice, make a wise choice, use your intuition. There are options. There are things glimmering on the surface right now, waiting for you. I'm going to pick more cards. I usually pick more for the eighth position. So let's see. Okay, beautiful. We got the card that we get a lot, that I always talk about, the Nine of Coins, the Virgo's home card with the peacock. And again, it's the good life. It's a beautiful complement to the Four of Rods, the Four of Wands. So I guess this person is bringing their peacock and their grapevines with them when they relocate to their new tower. Um, you know, there are some things that you know feed you that you want to keep and bring with you. And where's the five of coins card? The five of coin cards is like a card of forgetting maybe what feeds you. This is a card of remembering what feeds you. You know, who are you? Like what do you care about? And so this is really nice. Going back to this, choosing things that nourish you, choosing things that support you. And so again, you know, choosing carefully, use your intuition, use your self-knowledge, cups, use your spiritual knowing, and you'll create this again. You'll create the good parts, the good things. And again, it's another earth sign, so that's really beautiful. All right, should we do one more for the eighth? The card of how you relate to the world, the card of you and other people. Temperance. Beautiful cups card. Or I think of it as the higher cups. There are no cups, but I think of it as the higher cups card. And in some depictions of temperance, there is an alchemical depiction of someone pouring things back and forth in order to create a new balance, a new structure. And so, yeah, I think of it as the higher cups. And again, it is a card of balance. So we saw with the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Cups and the card of worrying and the card of feeling impoverished and excluded and the card of new beginnings. This whole reading basically is about a big fat rebalance. And so I would say these cards actually go together very beautifully. Rebalancing our relationship with ourselves and how we relate to the world and each other as we go through this change, whatever it is. This is a general reading. So it could mean different things to all of you. I hope that it is helpful to all of you. It's helpful to me. Okay, so the ninth position, that is the card of the energy of the reading. Sometimes if we're scared, it'll show our fears. So it kind of shows like what are we reflecting and how are we doing at this moment when you pick a card. Okay, lovely. This is exactly what I would hope to see. And it means we're doing great. We've got the strength card. We're brave. We're being brave and we're in our higher selves. And we're not trying to remember, I said at the beginning, like, this isn't a card of forcing or controlling, you know, this is a card of kind of mastering our lower vibration, our lower tendencies to like control and dominate. This is more like trusting ourselves, being in intuition and harmony with ourselves, being brave, you know, working with the world in a harmonious way. This is the card of the woman who, is there a lion? I don't see a lion. The woman who's able to put her hand inside the lion's mouth because the lion trusts and respects her, and she trusts and respects it. And that is a card in my mind of not power over, but power within. And so again, it's like a rebalance. It's like even when I do feel that five of coins poverty or the five of cups poverty, uh, I'm going to stay up here. I'm going to keep myself tempered and I'm going to stay in my higher self and I'm going to create new things and I'm going to master my fear and I'm going to be strong and courageous and brave and balanced again. So there you go. That's the energy of the reading, and I love it. And it's really lovely for Leo season if you think about that lion that's in most of these cards. And then the outcome, the last card, the 10th position. Something is good and over. Something is good and over, and we can let it go. And maybe it doesn't always feel wonderful. We're going through the feels of that, deciding what to do. And we got the cups again. Page of Swords, a new idea, a new thought, a new understanding, maybe a message, maybe a new opportunity from someone else reaching out, sending a message from someone else. Hey, I just heard of a job opportunity perhaps you might like, or something like that, you know. I have this creative idea maybe you'd like to help me with. It's something like that. It's a new seeding of something. Um, it's nice to see new energy there. One more. Oh, the Ace of Coins. So literally a seed, an offering, something new to build on. So look for these little things. Look for the glimmers. Stay balanced, stay focused, stay brave and in your integrity. And then move forward, letting some things fall away. And don't let yourself be isolated. And stay in touch with your heart. It's a really nice reading for this week. It seems like a big week for some of us. I'm wishing everyone very good luck with this. And I will be back soon. And don't forget, if you want to schedule a reading or you want to try some aromatics or something from the Handmade Apothecary, that there is a sale that continues tonight until midnight Pacific time. You can get 15% off, and there's a coupon code at the website. You can find it under the blog. All right, I'll be back soon, and I'm wishing everyone good luck with your week. Bye-bye.